Oh, god damn it. Which one of you little bastards took the rest of the cookies?
It wasn't me. I think it's that guy. The guy with the big beard and the armor.
No, what the hell? What? Goodness grief! What? This doesn't look like Taras. What you doing? Where? This doesn't look like Thunderhold. It looks like dragons. Hello,
I see cookie crumbs in his beard.
cookie crumbs. He's a breadcrumbs that I ate this morning. Anyway, who the hell are you?
I am Ephraim.
Oh, right.
And I'm Ashura. But, who are you?
Well, I'm Robert Ironbreaker, cleric of Odin.
Ah. And how did you get in here?
Oh, it would appear to be some of this stuff is still in my pocket. This emerald spire. Oh, it's now dust. It must have caused a wee teleportation mishap. Oh, that's the last time I've ever paid a mage to teleport me all the way to Thunderhold and back into the city again. This is just like the time I was in the Emerald Spire. Oh, and then I found myself somewhere completely different. And listening to the Thunderhold national anthem with demon heads singing it. Oh, mind if I just rest my marks down here and my shield there. Oh.
Yeah, if you take a seat, we'll try to find out where you were supposed to go.
You couldn't find me a little lower seat than that one because I can't get in that one.
I mean, there's a smaller rock over there.
Thank you kindly. Right.
Sure, I think I figured out why we keep having teleportation mishaps.
Why is that?
I think we're just, imagine, a mailman going down the street trying to find the post box with the name on the envelope and
the address.
Yeah, we're at the end of the street, and the teleportation mishaps is like the envelopes that he can't read, so he just puts them in this box.
So, where exactly is this place? Is this on the material plane, or am I in? Where are the 9 realms? Is this?
This is the realm of forgotten memories and dreams.
Ooh, well, that's a wee bit fancy, isn't it? Do you have any gold down here? Do you mine down here in this realm of dreams? Or are these dreams the only thing that grow around here?
I mean, we wouldn't be dragon if there weren't gold here.
There are also many of forgotten minerals and ones that have just died off.
Well, so long as you make sure your kobolds aren't sniffing around me üûrrú-metal.
Your what?
üûrrú-metal. Oh.
Üûrrú-metal?
Üûrrú. It's translated from dwarven, translated to star metal.
Ah, okay. That's way easier to say.
But it's called üûrrú-metal, and it's a great metal. It's what my plate is made out of.
Oh.
The same metal that Eitri and Brock forged Thor's hammer Mjolnir out of.
So, does that mean that you've been out adventuring?
Oh, aye. Oh, do you want to hear about it?
Oh, absolutely.
Aye, well, first things first, we'll need a little bit of mead around here.
Yeah, we can get that. We have a shortage of servants at the moment, but
we're trying out the goblins.
We'll get you some mead.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me see. How did it all begin? Well, it began when I was in the city, doing my rounds as usual, and then there was it was quite a bit of a hubbub going on in the Temple District, in the city-state of the Invincible Overlord. And let's see, there was a guy, Chiefly, a scrivener. He was trying to look for people to do a bit of work for him. And then there was this elf boy, girl, whatever. Yeah, they weren't looking where they're going because obviously I'm quite short. Would you believe it or not?
Oh, so they stumble over you?
Aye, I get it all the time. And I was like, oh, shit, where are you going? And then I met up with quite an interesting band of people, and it turned out that some miles out of the city in Dirthwood, there was a great spire that had poked out the earth, and of course had a lot of earthquakes in the city. Oh, aye, it was not good.
How is the fire causing earthquakes?
Well, it was growing out of the ground, and it was aggravating the earth.
Like a plant?
Oh, aye, green like a plant as well.
Is that the emerald spire you mentioned?
Aye. There's what's left of it in my hand. But the Emerald Spire, it's still there. This chiefly fella, he wanted people to come with him to investigate and see why it was causing all these earthquakes and whether it was or not. I don't know, something like that. And then we went inside it. Oh, it took a while to get inside. Oh, we got fought goblins, goblin commando-like people, and heavy armour. That was quite a fight. They had some golems, great big metal golems that were on guard in the entrance of this edifice. That's where we met our guide, Atter. Oh, Atter. Oh my goodness.
Were they just waiting by the entrance?
Nay, they were above. They were in the highest point of it. They were being held captive by a bugbear.
A bergbear?
A bugbear.
Ah,
I could just remember us tapping on the door, and then he answered it, and we all killed him.
oh Lord.
Then he had this captive, this young person there, and we found out this Eladrin, this elf-like person who was called Atta. We later found out that was actually a Ratatoskr in disguise, the great wild squirrel that goes up and down the grass hill, swapping insults between the celestial eagle at the top and Nidhogg at the bottom. Oh, I wasn't alone. I had a group with me. There was, let me see, there was Liam Odinson. I had a mask. I never got to see his face. But apparently he wasn't too happy about showing his face.
Even to his friends.
Aye, even to his intimate lover.
That's weird.
And I don't even know what
Maybe he was horribly ugly.
not mine to judge. And then there was his brother, his half brother, Shay. Oh, yes, Shay, the tiefling with wings and a good dead shot with their air rifle.
Air rifle.
Aye.
A rifle that shoots air,
Nay. It shoots metal projectiles from it.
but it's made out of air.
No. The mechanism is pressurized air that push the projectile at a great velocity.
So technically you're not wrong. It does shoot the air for a bit.
Yeah, but it kind of sounds like a rifle that shoots bullets, like all rifles do. I call it an air rifle. Can it float in the air?
I don't even know. Well, I suppose it does float when she is flying around with it.
Okay, then it's an air rifle.
But she called it their air rifle, and that's what I'm calling it, right?
Okay.
Where did she obtain such a device?
Oh, he. I don't know. I think we got it in the forge, and I think they got it.
They got it.
I think they found it somewhere in the Emerald Spire.
Ah, okay.
But the most important thing was the next level down from the goblins, there was undead. Oh, that was not a great floor at all. I don't even want to dwell on it. One after that was the one that's important. The bandit floor, the cult of the god of thieves. Down we were there, and they got us into a bottleneck. We were in this quite tight corridor, and there wasn't enough room to move about and swing your axe about. But I was able to lift a sacred flame at one of them, and did they catch it right in the face. And then one of them shouted, "They've got a mage!" And then I come around the corner said, "No, I'm a cleric, you twat!" And then I caved in the skull of the next one that was right next to me with my axe. And then for some reason, my group really liked that quote that I said, and it was quite catchy after that.
It is a good war cry, I'm not gonna lie.
How did you fit into a bottle? I know you're small, but you're not that small.
Goodness grief, man! What you? It's to describe, going from a wide area to a narrow area. Oh, you're supposed to be clever down here if you. Oh, I suppose you're used to airy fairy dreams and memories, and you might be weird people that live down here.
Trust me, this is more just him. Half the time I can't tell if he's being serious or not when he asks these questions.
Right, anyway, after this narrow corridor that we had to go in single file, and we defeated these bandits, we left a couple of them alive, and they were called Jerry and Gina. And it turned out that they were only just gone with these bandits because they fell in with a bad crowd. They tried to farm, but they're from the Dirtwood, and it's a harsh place. Orc attacks are commonplace, and farming is very difficult if you ain't got a druid or some sort of magic to make the land more fertile. And of course, there's the trees. Don't forget the trees. They're all after something. Mark my words, nothing good ever happened where there are trees nearby.
He almost sounds like an anti-Lorax.
An anti-what?
An anti-Lorax.
Do I?
I have no idea what that is. Is that like a political movement?
I can't tell if you're asking in character or out of character.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dr. Seuss, Lorax.
I have not seen Dr. Seuss.
Ironbreaker, you know what I'm talking about?
I have not a clue what you're on about.
Yeah, it's not just me.
God damn it.
Me, I don't know what you're on about. You're both just as airy-fairy as each other. I wouldn't be surprised that there isn't any fee down here.
Oh, well, there used to be, but he's gone missing.
Maybe he's just here but invisible. I could do a wee little detect for you if you want.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe Rue is here, just turned invisible.
Oh, let me see. Let me get my holy symbol for you. Let me do a wee detect. I'm just going to waft it over here. And, well, no, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting a lot of...
Yeah, because we in here, we outside.
Oh, for goodness sake, man. Do you not know any kind of dwarvish? You're meant to be dragons of all people.
Yeah. Being a dragon doesn't mean that I have to speak with dwarves all the time.
Well, I had to speak with dragons all the time. Didn't mean I picked up a wee bit of draconic ever so often.
Between you and me, he doesn't study quite as much as everyone else.
But why would you pick up a wee from a dragon?
Oh, goodness. Wee meaning little.
Just leave it on the ground.
Wee means little.
Well, not when I do it.
Little wee. A wee bit. A wee bit. A bit of here, a bit there. Just a wee bit.
Can we move on from this?
I'm trying to educate you into what wee means.
Yeah, I don't really like to talk about poop and pee.
It's not poop and pee. Oh, goodness sake, man.
Ephraim, would you go help the goblins get the meat?
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
If there's any sort of talk about that, that would be nice as well.
Quickly move on to the next subject before he gets back.
Right. What happened next? Jerry and Gina. Turned out that they were quite helpful in our ventures down. Oh, they were quite good shots, them both. I think they became rangers. They knew a little druidic magic. I suppose because they're bed and farmers, they needed to learn a bit of that kind of nature magic. But they became crack shots down there, and they were useful. Well, further down, oh yes. Did I tell you the time we fought the artificer? A wizard that can make great metal golems and weird kind of gadgets. Oh, here, have a look at my thing on my shoulder. This little gadget. Oh, don't press that, by the way. This little gadget that shoots magic missiles, and they're guided as well. It's just like the spell. Except you can just pop it on your shoulder and you twist it a little bit, and it shoots the bolts out.
And did you buy that from an artificer, or did you get that from an artificer?
No. We defeated the artificer, and we didn't kill the artificer. We made him surrender.
Why were you after the artificer?
Well, he was in the way. His lair was in the way of the next floor below. It was the next challenge, as it were. And he was putting all this machinations. He locked the door. He wanted us for his machinations. He wanted all of our bits so that he could make us into more of his mechanical things. But we gave him a run for his money.
I'm kind of wondering if that was just a civilian that was trying to live its life. Were they attacking you?
It was definitely in the way. He had locked the. There was a massive door that we had to get past.
Are you sure that wasn't just his house door?
A lot of people live in that Emerald Spire. We did try to achieve a diplomatic solution, but he wasn't then going to have it. He wasn't like the troglodytes. They worshipped this giant rock that attracted metal. As you could probably tell from my armour, I was nearly being dragged across. But we managed to come to some sort of arrangement that we gave them a load of scrap. We got scrap metal for safe passage across. Fun enough, the scrap metal came from the odds and sods from the artificer's workshop.
All right, I just want to make sure on one thing. So you didn't just break down a door and then randomly start beating an artificer.
Definitely not. His machines were quite aggressive. These great big, they were massive, and they were shoving me left and right and centre. Oh, they were not nice. Now, he sent his machines after us.
Before or after you broke down the door?
Before.
Okay. I was going to say that could just be the security system.
All right, I am back with the mead.
Good lad, aye.
Sure, I don't know why you keep the mead on the top shelf. It's so hard to get to. I have to climb all over the wine bottles, and
To make it harder for you so you don't get to it too easily.
now the goblins have to clean up all the broken wine bottles.
Oh, for Paul's sake. You just missed it. He beat up an artificer.
He kind of sent his big machines. They were great big. They were even bigger than the golems in the goblin sector. They were massive. They shoved us left, right, and shoved me left, right, and centre, in between some of my friends as well. But we managed to get some of these gadgets from him. I think we reunited this artificer with a familiar of theirs. It was a wee little thing person. Maybe it was a pixie or some kind of sylph. I don't even know. I've never seen that kind of creature before. Anyway, they were reunited, and that is how we were able to get past this artificer onto the next floor. I don't even know quite how we got to the bottom, but there is one particular story that I'll round the Emerald Spire off, is that we tried a little bit, we experimented with trying to speed up this descent down the Emerald Spire. We tried to do a shortcut, if you like. Now, our friend Tanis, the elf, he was quite into experimenting with magic. So much so that the unexpected seems to always happen if he casts a lot of spells. Like the other time, he could have just talk only with bubbles. Like every time his mouth moves, the bubbles just form.
That happened to me once when I ate the soap.
Yes, well, he could just cast a spell and that happens, sort of thing. And then the other time, he blew us all up. Oh,
He blew you all up?
yeah, he chucked a fireball by accident.
I'm assuming you lived.
Well, I'm not in Valhalla, am I?
Not that I know.
Not yet.
Well, I'm not going there until I've got my seat there ready. When I went to Valhalla last, I was still living, and I said to Odin and Thor, that's my seat. That's where I'm going to be drinking the mead when I'm ready to cross the Rainbow Bridge, not a day before. Anyway, I thought Valhalla awaits this little experiment. Well, it turned out that there was a bit of a teleportation mishap. I ended up in a garden with these stone heads and a little wee imp in conducting them, and they were trying to sing, and it was awful, but they did sing the Thunderhold national anthem, which I was quite glad about.
How does a stone learn a national anthem?
I don't even know, lad.
I bet its voice sounded very gravelly.
They were very gravelly. They were indeed. As a mason, that is a great gag, that. Oh, skull to you.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, laddie.
What was the whole point of the Emerald Tower?
The Emerald Spire, well, it was to find out how far it was growing, and we found out that it was, in fact, a part of the tree of Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects to all the 9 realms.
Can you tell us the individual realms?
Well, there's Midgard, that's where I'm from. There's Asgard, the land of the Aesir and the Vanir, and
That's where Ashura comes from. Arsgard.
right. Anyway, Niflheim, there's another one. Oh, Muspelheim, and the land of fire giants. Jotunheim, the land of the ice giants and cold. And I've been there.
But you're saying that the spire was supposed to be there then? If it's part of this world tree.
I think it was a way for the gods to tell us that we had another quest that was needed to be done. But you see, after we had got near to the bottom of this Emerald Spire, a greater quest was requested from us from the gods. It was to delay or stop the coming of Ragnarok, for it was too soon, this coming of Ragnarok.
What's coming? Who's rocking? What is the Ragnarok?
The end of all things, the end of the world.
I think any end of the world people claim to come too soon, but why did they believe this one was coming too soon?
The Norns are the only ones that could tell us, and they were the ones who could see fate, and even they said it was too soon. Their measurements was being cut short. It was not them. The crone and her scissors, the matron and the maiden unties the yarn.
Just like the morning always comes too soon.
That I can agree with you on.
These Norns are the ones who are in charge of our fate.
Are they doing a good job?
Who put them in charge?
Maybe it was Odin. Maybe they were there even before Ymir was slain. But they are not rulers, they are merely the keepers of fate and destiny. Even you have a thread on the great tapestry woven by the Norns. We all do.
I'm going to have to figure out a way to get my thread back.
But they are making it into the tapestry of your life.
Well, that's kind of them.
Indeed.
What about you? What do you think they're doing with your thread?
Well, they certainly wove it into quite the tapestry. They've given me a second chance at life. I thought I was going to be over with adventures, but they gave me another adventure to go on. They helped me find my best friend, Tarek, a half-orc mercenary.
Oh, how did you find him?
Oh, and they say we were both employed by Chiefly. I thought, oh, he's a wee bit of a dodgy guy. He's been around the block a couple of times, but turned out to be a brother in arms.
Oh.
A great warrior to fight with.
That's good. And if you ever get lost around the block, he can show you around it.
Well, he knows the city quite well. He knows the city seat of the Ounce of Oldblood. Although I've introduced him to a couple of pubs that are great. The Grey Goblin's great to drink in. They got good ale. I don't like the kind of dancing in, like the ones they got half-naked people dancing in. Oh, I don't even like that. They don't usually have nice drinks, so they make up for it in other ways.
What's your favorite drink?
See, I'm all about the drink for me. There's got to be a good ale, a good mead. This is actually quite a nice mead. Ooh.
Yeah. I apologize that me and Ashura are a bit underdressed.
Well, you're not the first dragons that I've met before. I met dragons that were made out of lava. They were quite interesting. They helped us get across their lair. We managed to talk to them into giving us a wee lift.
The lava one?
They managed to solidify a bit of their scales, so they made a little rock bridge for us.
How'd you manage to do that?
With great skill and dexterity.
Fair. Fair.
Oh, yes, and there was that dragon. Oh, we met Nidhogg.
Old Needy, as we call him.
Right down the bottom of Yggdrasil. And one of his swords was missing. His 9 swords that he has in his tail. Turned out there was a lich that pinched it.
A lich fish.
That's kind of rude.
That lich wanted to launch the boat. The boat that's made out of finger and toenails that were not properly disposed of in a fire.
Who makes a boat out of fingers and toenails?
That lich, probably. That and the goddess Hell herself.
Have you met the Scars before?
I've met Hell once.
Doesn't sound like it was the most pleasant experience for you.
She's quite a distinct goddess. Slightly creepy, if you don't mind me saying. Very morbid. Considering she has half the face of a young maiden and half the face of a corpse. It was quite the harrowing experience.
Can't imagine.
Did you end up fighting, or?
Oh no. She gave us all a little boon from the gods. I can't remember what mine was. That's right. Wealth. Ingots of üûrrú-metal.
Oh,
But I used that wealth to create items for our party. You see this plate metal that I'm in? I made it myself.
That's honestly rather impressive.
I learnt blacksmithing from my religious life. You see, our temple values the forge. The forge is sacred. Even though I came from a mason clan, a religious life is always blacksmithing. For you see, blacksmithing, you learn the origins of items, you learn the bonds that tie to an item, you learn about crafting and things.
yeah. I've never met a dwarf that hasn't been worshipping the forge or the arts and crafts.
Seems like all dwarves have a natural need to tinker.
That's something that we pride ourselves in is craft. For in life you pay the gold price or the iron price for something. The gold price is just buying something, but the iron price is where you work for it, you get what you deserve.
And what about you? What do you prefer to tinker with, and what do you deserve?
Deserve a seat on the council of greybeards at the Thunderhall. When I returned home, they seemed to have a deference to me, like as if I deserved to be on that council.
Okay. And you don't agree with them?
Well, it just sort of happened. Perhaps it was the last boon that I was given from the gods.
So, did you manage to delay Ragnarok from happening?
Aye, we did. We stopped the launch of the boat, we stopped the awakening of Jormungandr, and most importantly, we stopped Third, the great god of Muspelheim, the fire giant king, from finishing his sword.
Oh, well, that's good. So, when is Ragnarok happening then? If it's not this week?
It seems to be a common theme in our land that each generation must stop Ragnarok.
Okay. So it's like 40 years away?
We'd like to put it on our calendar.
Who can tell?
Yeah, I like to set my alarm.
We're going to sleep through it anyway.
But in our land, these are not the only gods that live there. We have gods like Thoth. The Thoth temple is this strange bird-headed god.
For a second, I thought you said Puff, like my cousin Puff.
No. Thoth,
He's a fucking druggie.
Thoth, this bird-headed god. And of course, there's the Iron Morg.
The Iron Morg.
Oh, I do not like. Strange god that. I'm not entirely sure what their gender is, and nor am I gonna get into it.
So morgue's their name. It's not an actual place like a morgue.
No, although they probably like to look in morgues. They like to look at everything. They're the all-seeing eye.
That's kind of creepy.
They are indeed a wee bit creepy.
How did you come across them?
One of their worshippers, or at least supplicants, travelled with us.
What travels with you?
One of their supplicants or worshippers were within my party during our time in the Emerald Spire and stopping Ragnarok. The wee laddie Tannis. Yeah, they had the Iron Morgue.
And did you deal with them? Or at least the Iron Morgue?
It would appear that they were a result of a pact with this deity. Their father had some sort of pact magic with the Iron Morgue. I don't know the extent of what this enchantment was over Tannis. It gave them great pain in life.
What was one of your favorite moments you had while adventuring or throughout your life?
My favourite moment? Let me see. Oh, I've got to have a think about this one for a wee bit. I'll drink a bit of mead. I suppose my favourite moment must have been when I was able to find the forge of Eitri and Brock in the Emerald Spire, and we found that their descendants were these metal-like, golem-like creatures. But they spoke of Eitri and Brock. And I mentioned about Thunderhold, and they thought, oh, Thunderhold, that's just a little mining town. Oh, Thunderhold is a great city under the mountain. And so, in the forge of Eitri and Brock, I was able to forge my axe, my dwarf thrower.
Oh.
This axe that is able to be thrown like this, ha ha, and it returns to the hand like thus. And also, if you're a giant, it hurts extra much. But I didn't make just this item in the forge. No. I made things for my entire adventuring party. I upgraded Tannis's orb to help in further their magical ability, and their magic was even more potent than ever. Then there was the headband that belongs to Tarek, a great friend, and I was able to stamp his mercenary band's symbol into it. Working the metal, it was quite a difficult thing, but for some reason, working in this forge, it felt easier to do it. Well, I suppose there's no substitute for good quality ingredients and materials and tools. These were the finest tools I was able to improve my own tools by working there.
Oh, well, that's good.
As in you use spare metal to improve them, or?
Yes. Well, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. There was an ally, a warrior called Lothar the Lawless. I was able to summon him to help me. He was a sort of celestial figure, a sort of almost immortal dwarf that was able to come to our rescue on a couple of occasions.
Okay.
I think it was around about the forge I was able to get that ability to summon him.
Then he comes to your aid.
I helped fight the giants. That was another thing. Tannis had a sword, a sentient sword that really had it in for giants. I can't remember the name of the sword.
Is it Giant Ender?
No. Nothing as crude as that.
Giant Slayer?
No, I bet they wish they had the epithet Giant Slayer.
Did it have giant in the name?
No. They were quite a talkative sword.
Biggie Slayer?
So wait, did this talk out loud so that everyone could hear?
Yes, I even wanted to transform it into a warhammer, but they were like, no, I don't want to be a warhammer. It gives me a headache. They preferred to be a sharper blade of some kind.
I can get behind that.
They didn't like being a warhammer or a maul.
Well, they probably would have made a nice one.
Aye. Nothing I like better than bashing giants.
So now that you've investigated the Emerald Spire and delayed Ragnarok, what are your plans for the future? Do you have another quest lined up?
Oh, of course. I wanted to be with my mate Tarek, and I did get to see Jerry and Gina again on my travels afterwards, sometime afterwards. And they opened a wee little pub called the Yggdrasil Inn, or do they call it the Emerald Spire Inn? We workshop some names. Anyway, it turned out by the time I got there was another adventuring party. There was a wee little elf lady, a little wizard, who told me that there were skeletons in their basement, in their wine cellar. Turned out it was an old ruin.
I was going to say, why would a person keep skeletons in their basement? Normally that's in the closet.
Well, these were in the basement, for in that land you can't go very far without dig underground without some sort of historical tomb being exhumed. That's quite a good word, exhumed. Well, I gave me my little pearl of identify to this little wizard lass. Very, very bookish like. I don't think I got her name.
It happens.
Sometimes traveling here can cause you to get some stuff.
Indeed, And then I was on the road with Tarek, and well, that was great. Walking all the way to Thunderhold and trying to get a ride across. To be honest, we were at that point in our abilities where a bandit party tried to fight me and Tarek, but it was just like a workout for us two because they thought, oh, it's just a couple of adventurers on their journey. Oh, I bet they're not very highly skilled. Oh no. They got it right smacking.
Yeah, you should never underestimate adventurers.
Indeed, eh?
I mean, most of them are pretty bad, but some of them can actually be quite hard to fight.
And of course, the next adventure is to go with Tarek and reunite with my clan and go further underground Thunderhall. Tarek mentioned to me he had an interest in finding more about the Underdark. Before we visited the Underdark a brief bit, going to the Emerald Spire for our journey under, we had got to that point, that level. It was quite useful for my party to learn about things that are about underground. And of course, when you go underground, there's gold.
Yeah, gold prefers to rest underground.
Aye, it does.
And there's always more gold to find.
So there was one kobold who joined our party for a wee bit. Little Eatclaw. Oh, great inventor they were. Oh, a very great inventor. I don't know where they ended up. They stayed at the forge. They wanted to stay there and make more things. Oh, they were a great little one. I miss them. And of course, Atta lived happily ever after with Liam.
Did they make anything significant?
I think they had quite a happy ending, if you know what I mean. Don't know what they ended up doing next. Probably hanging out in her little personal plane of existence. Never again am I travelling on a squirrel's back through the branches of Yggdrasil.
You don't think I could travel on a squirrel's back?
It's got to be a big squirrel.
Yeah, a giant squirrel.
Well, they were able to grow to that size. If I was to do the measurements, it was at least a yard longer than you and two put together lengthwise.
That is a damn large squirrel.
Aye. We were all hanging on for dear life on the back of her while she was at full pelt towards our next bit of adventure.
But is that like a backyard longer or like a front yard, like a small front yard longer than?
Unit of measurement, laddie.
Yeah,
A yard.
trying to get the same sort of unit.
Not a front or a back yard. A yard, you know, like length.
Then whose yard? Whose yard are we talking about?
Not whose yard, it's a measurement.
This is what I normally deal with.
You don't quivvy over a centimetre or a...
Yeah, but we need
Well,
to
I
have
don't
our...
use the metric system, all right? It's a bloody unit of measurement. It's not. It's like nobody quibbles over who's mile and who's inch.
Why can't you measure in tail lengths like lawnmower people do?
Because I don't have a tail.
It's a unit of measurement.
Tail?
Yeah.
I don't use a tail.
Ephraim, do you find where this guy's from so we can send him on his way?
You could have just sent me to Thunderhold. That would be really useful.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you just say so? Yeah, we'll send you back to Thunderhall.
Yep, Thunderhold, please. Which way is it? Is it this Wait, oh, hang on, I'm disappearing again. Oh, teleportation. Oh well.
All right. Well, if you have any more adventures, we'd love to have you again if you somehow manage to get here.
Oh, I'll be happy to let you know again.
All right. Till then, have a good awakening.
üûrrú-metal?